This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. We are back. We got him there. Let's go, Manny Navarro. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling great, up here in Amelia Island, a little north of St. Augustine, here with my parents, spending a good, Thanksgiving break up here, man. So everything's great.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. But can you explain to me how the U is favored by 9 points?
Boston College is not a great team. Their defense isn't very good, and I think part of it is, Miami's played 2 top 10 ranked teams pretty close the last couple of weeks, so that probably explains it.
Do you have any dessert?
Yeah, what doesn't explain it is I'm not sure where Miami can give 9 points to anyone in the ACC.
I'm with you.
Anyone in the ACC. I did not understand that with, what was it, Virginia?
Yeah.
I think we had that same conversation, and sure enough, it worked out that way. I'm not wondering, like, does Mario have naked pictures of people in Vegas or something? I don't know.
You might be onto something there, I think, I don't know. Vegas, I mean, you figure they want to make money, right? So maybe they're just trying to get Miami fans to bite. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. So this week, what are you hearing, bro? Because I can't imagine that this is a very motivated team to finish the season.
Well, I think certainly I'm expecting some guys to probably sit out just because of this the nature of the beast now, right? Guys who know that they're getting in the transfer portal this time of year usually develop hamstrings or some sort of ailment. So I don't know what's going to happen ultimately on Friday, but I know Tyler Van Dyke did his press conference today, so that means to me he's playing Friday. He plans to play Friday. Beyond that, bowl game, everything else remains to be seen.
Yeah. So what are you hearing about the coaching staff? What are you hearing? How's everything coaching wise?
Well, I certainly think Mario's examining the entire coaching staff. I mean, this is the time of year that you start to do it. I think, guys like Shannon Dawson, who have obviously struggled here down the second half of the season with this offense. I think he probably out there communicating with people, looking to see landing pads, places he could go. I think other guys on the staff, the tight end position has been very, very underwhelming. They promoted, a young guy to that spot this year. I think that's a spot where maybe you could see Mario go out and bring in more of a veteran-type presence in the offseason. So, look, every year Mario has been coached, whether it's at FIU, Oregon. He even just the brief time he's been here at Miami, he makes changes to his staff every year. Very rarely do you see continuity. So I expect there to be some movement from this staff at the end of the season.
Is there good chemistry in this staff?
I think, look, the one thing I will say, and you and I talked off air about something not too long ago. What I will say is Mario is very, very demanding, and sometimes his approach rubs guys the wrong way. It upsets some guys, it frustrates some guys. So I think that is everything perfect? No. But I also think a lot of these guys appreciate some of the opportunities that they get, right? To coach at a place like Miami, to get paid like they're getting paid at Miami. So it's a give and take, but is chemistry perfect? No, it never is. Never is under Mario, and that's the way it's always been where he's at.
So the smoke that I got, there was a little fire there?
I think so. I think there certainly was a little bit of fire there. I think there was a little bit of frustration maybe between the parties. But I will say this. My feedback that I've gotten is while he's very demanding, I think a lot of guys, again, I think they appreciate the opportunity that they have, right, to coach at Miami, to be at a Power 5 program that pays them as well as they do. So I don't think there's necessarily any deep-hated, beef, so to speak. I think it's one of those things where, hey, this is the guy Mario is. Sometimes he's going to rub guys the wrong way, and you're going to have incidents.
From what I think, it's not it's not so much a hatred thing. It's more of a philosophical differences is what I'm going to say. Is what it is. It's not hate driven at all. It's just it was more of philosophical differences from what I'm hearing. That's all.
Yeah, I think so. I think that those kind of things that have developed. That's part of Mario's history. He pushes that with a lot of different guys. It's not alone. He's not alone, and so I think ultimately, guys who get into this profession and they understand there's going to be different demands from different bosses, different expectations, and Mario's the kind of guy that he has a certain way of thinking, and you don't really know what that is until you go through a season with him, right? You don't start to really realize, okay, this is what he's asking of me, or this is what he expects of me. And so I think, sometimes you can get back to that and fix it. Sometimes you can't.
Where's the administration stand with all of this? They can't be happy because a win this weekend, and it's barely a successful season. A loss this weekend, and I think it's an unsuccessful season, actually. Considering how much more talented you are than you were last year,
Right.
you only win 6 games.
Right.
I'm not even happy with 7, but I kind of figured that's what you were, a 7-8 win team. So, it's just the Georgia Tech loss. That's probably the problem with that 7 wins. It's the Georgia Tech loss that stands in the way. But I'm just wondering, what's the administration thinking? Have you been able to dig in there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think anybody's happy. I think the expectation, and I said this to you on the air in the preseason, that I think internally a lot of the belief was this is a team that should win 8 games, right? An 8-win season, 8-4 season would be a good step forward after a 5-7 season. The fact that they're not going to hit that mark, and maybe they will, with a bowl victory, right? If they win these last 2 games, they get to 8
that's
wins.
True. Yeah, that's true.
I think ultimately, there's a lot of frustration that, hey, listen, we just changed this staff, and the results in terms of wins and losses isn't that much better. And then I would say the fact that they only sold 44,000 tickets for the last home game, right, against Louisville, against a top 10 team. The fact that the fan base is not as excited about this, but there's the
Why
whole
would
trick.
they be? Why would they be?
And they wanted to start selling tickets. They want excitement in this program. They want people to be bought in. They want that place sold out. So I think from an administrative perspective, they're not happy in the sense of, hey, we didn't get to the 8 wins. We didn't have a packed stadium at the end of the year. But I also think they see progress in certain areas of this program. They see an upgrade in talent. They see the fact that the quarterback position basically let them down this year. And they're thinking, okay, well, if they get a quarterback in here with everything else that he's building around that, maybe this is a team that takes a leap next year in year 3, and you're sort of back on course. But I think internally the goal is to raise as much money as possible for NIL, because they know they got to pay kids to ultimately stay here and to pay kids to come here with recruiting. There's a huge effort towards that, and I think right now financially, all the feedback I've gotten is that support is there. Nobody's stepping back and saying, I'm not giving money to the program anymore. Nobody's stepping back and saying, well, what a disappointing or bad second season. We're not going to support him anymore. I think the key people who have been funding this are still very much into Mario Cristobal.
Who starts?
Who starts on Friday?
Yeah.
Tyler Van Dyke. They wouldn't have put him in the press conference if he wasn't starting Friday.
And what is Tyler's future?
It's a great question. I mean, I think from talking to people close to him, there was certainly some frustration, I think, with the play calling this year. The fact that they didn't maybe stay to some of the stuff that they promised him, which was to play more of an up-tempo style, which is what he thrived in. He played, when you go back and you look at when Tyler played at his best, it was an up-tempo style. There were, at the end of the 21 season, they were pushing the ball against Pittsburgh, and it really got defenses tired. And, we know that Mario prefers complementary football, right? He wants the defense to play well. He doesn't want to push. And I think the moment Tyler started to struggle, they reeled back the offense in ways that didn't help him. And so I think Tyler's future is probably going to be somewhere else beyond this season. I know that when he did the press conference today, he was asked, will he be at Miami next year? And he didn't really answer the question. So I think everybody, look, the bottom line is he almost left last year. Notre Dame came for him. Alabama came for him. There were schools that were kicking the tires.
They're not going to kick the tires this time around. That's the problem.
Listen, there's so many bad quarterbacks in college football, and he's still 42nd in quarterback rating. Like, if you're the 42nd best quarterback, somebody's going to want to come and get you, even if it's
Well,
a G5
you know what?
score.
And you're right. Maybe they'll say it's the system and the coaching for him.
Right.
We have the system and the coaching, and he'll be better. But there's the thought of going pro is dead now for him. He's got to
Yeah,
go.
I mean, I think health wise, you think about all the things that he's dealt with between his shoulder, throwing shoulder, his knee. I mean, that kid. Miami fans are quick to criticize him, but that kid has given up his body for this program. And the reality is, when he had a good offensive coordinator, he was damn good, right? When he had Rhett Lashley, he was damn good for the last 6 games of 21 season. I don't know that he really had that guy here in the last 2 years. So
Can't say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't say that your receiving core is better than KJ Osborne and
Charleston Rambo.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys took.
That was 3 years ago, right? That was 3 seasons ago, correct?
Well, when he had Charleston Rambo, that was 2 seasons ago, and then
right. This season, not last season, the season before.
Right, and then you had Osborne. You had Osborne in 20.
Right.
The year that Derek King played well. So
right.
You're right.
I mean, have those kind of guys on this team right now.
Jacoby George has taken a step forward in my mind. Like, he's improved. But I think Colby Young has been super underutilized. There were so many one-on-one opportunities for him. And I kept tweeting about it during the game because I'm sitting there watching the coverage scheme, and I'm like, how come they're not going over the top to Colby Young? They should be giving him an opportunity. He's 6'4", 6'5". Let him go up there around the end zone and grab the ball. They never threw it to him once. So I think, Xavier Restrepo, you've kind of tapped out. You've gotten everything you can out of that dude.
Yeah.
Brashard Smith is the one guy you probably say, man, I wish they would have been more creative with this guy, right? Line him up in the backfield, do some stuff.
He's dynamic.
He's dynamic. So I don't think the receivers are terrible, but if you were to ask me right now, which one of those guys is an NFL receiver? Is there an Osborne out there? Probably not. I think the closest one might be Jacoby George because of the way he played this season, but he still has room to grow. So
yeah. And the tight end was disappeared from this offense.
Non-existent. Just think about that position itself.
Yeah. Last year at least they had a good tight end. They have not.
They had an NFL tight end. Will Mallory's playing for the Colts.
Yeah. No, and you knew Will was talented enough to play in the NFL. Will's issue was injuries.
Right.
That's really what was more his problem.
Because he couldn't really keep the weight on. He's not a guy that that was necessarily built like that. He's a tall, skinny guy. Right. So, but they could fix things. I think they'll fix things in the offseason. I think Mario. Listen, like I said, they've got enough NIL to go out and buy a good team here in the offseason, to get a quarterback,
They better get a quarterback, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're going to
get a quarterback.
They're going to, in my mind.
Yeah, they better get a quarterback because, man, and right now you could try to get a young guy that you could get him to play early because he's got no competition here pretty much.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I don't know if they're in the running for a top-notch quarterback, but, man, there's a great opportunity. Although this is not the coach I want to play for. That's the problem. If I'm a quarterback and I want to put up stats, I don't know if I want to play for Mario Cristobal.
They have to be guys.
As much as I like Mario, his conservative ways will scare the crap out of a guy that wants to fling it.
Unless you hire an offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach who already has a prior relationship with that player, which is what Miami did with De'Aaron King, because Rhett Lashley and De'Aaron King had some level of a relationship through the recruiting process where they were able to kind of pull a guy that way. So I think that's what you have to look for here.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What do you got going on in the Athletic, my man?
Well, I wrote a couple of articles for this week. We'll have our ACC power rankings. I did a new podcast yesterday. That's the Wide Right podcast. It can be downloaded from there. I'll be writing about Louisville, because Louisville and FSU are playing in the ACC championship game. So there's a ton of coverage there. But I always tell my Canes fans to check out the podcast and to watch me when I'm on here with you, bro. This is when I talk Canes. But there's plenty to read there for sure at the Athletic. And there's a great deal right now. It's the Black Friday deal. I think you can get $1 a month deal right now. So
love it. All right, my brother. $1 a month. Sign up for the Athletic. And follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro coming through for us, as always. And don't forget, use our code BIGO10 at Caneswear to get 10% off online or in person. Get anything and everything with a Canes logo on it. Dolphin gear, Panthers gear, InterMiami gear, Heat gear. They got it all there. And use our code BIG010.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.